I want it all back. It's perception. Maybe I lost something. Maybe I misstepped, misspoke, misappropriated my power. But it's through the power of prayer that we present ourselves. It's open to the possibility. Maybe we all stand. This is that weekend where you've been barbecuing, eating everything, desserts, ribs, chicken, coleslaw. And so our aerobics is appropriate for us. Will you repeat after me? I declare. I declare. I declare my independence from fear, failure, and false identity. I claim my inner dependence on spirit, on truth, and on divine alignment. I am divinely designed, divinely defined, and divinely aligned. I reclaim my DNA and radiate my dunamis power. You may be seated. Dunamis. Dunamis. Can you just say that? Anybody familiar with that? Well, good. I'll be the expert in the room this morning. I don't always get to be that. Now, we talked about this weekend. Independence weekend. 4th of July celebrations. People have been waving flags, lighting fireworks, past midnight, shaking my house, grilling chicken and ribs, and celebrating Independence Day. Anybody been celebrating Independence Day? And yes, independence matters, freedom matters. But let me tell you something. That same independence that we crave for so long, that point in our lives what I just talked about where we wanted to be considered grown, because we thought there was something magical about being grown, that it gave us a level of independence over our lives, the things that we believe, that we do, even the way that we see the world. Independence, freedom, to have it my way, to do it my way. But let me tell you something. Independence can still find you imprisoned. Imprisoned by your mind. Imprisoned by your memories. Imprisoned by the mentality that keeps you smaller than you're supposed to be. And you play smaller than you're supposed to be. Because doing it my way with my independence has led me down a road where I've become non-compliant, incongruent to the alignment that's necessary. And so I understand the need for independence, freedom from the outside control, the control of mom, dad, anybody. Have it my way. Do it my way. It's that Burger King mentality. I can have life my way. And so we find ourselves in this predicament. Independence says, I don't need anybody. Now that may sound strong, but it can lead to spiritual isolation. Interdependence says, I know where my help comes from. And that's divine spirituality inside of me. Independence may break the chains around you. Independence breaks the chains within you. Problem is, a lot of us have signed agreements. We've made a pact with the outside world. And so we have these emotions, these feelings, and now we have this agreement that this is me. This is my life. I'm meant to have fear, trauma, failure, and I don't identify as a child of Christ. And because I don't fully agree with that designation, I act like something less than a child of God. Can anybody relate to that? Raise your hand if you can relate to that in moments in your life where you act as though you're something less than a child of God. You're not powered by God, and the presence of God is not inside of you. And then we look. Blame. Anybody played the blame game? Raise your hand if you played the blame game like me. It's something outside of me that I point to as the reason that I am the way I am. And in those situations, we find ourselves, as James 1:8 says, a double-minded man or woman is unstable in all their ways. Anybody ever been, somebody said that's real right there. Anybody here ever been double-minded? And because you're double-minded, you're unstable? Now let's just go a little bit deeper in there. Double-minded doesn't mean you're crazy. You don't have a mental problem. Let's not put it like that. But it is something that Brett mentioned, the monkey mind, and how it takes us on this roller coaster ride, this merry-go-round of emotions and feelings, where we say one thing, but we believe something different. Or we believe something, but we don't do it in alignment. Anybody ever had that scenario in their life where you say you believe something, but you don't act like it? My mother used to say, act like you understand. And then she'd follow up with the question, and maybe it's something about this that all mothers say, do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's something about the repetitive nature of understanding that go hand in hand. If you understand, you have to repeat the process, the practice. See, we talk about religion being a practice, but that means there's a repetitive nature to spirituality and religion. Throw religion out the door, because we don't practice religion, we practice spirituality. The Spirit lives within me. Lean not to your own understanding. Remember we talked about this month being what? Understanding. And what disciple is associated? Thomas. Now you may get Thomas confused because he asked one critical question because he was seeking understanding, and you may call him Doubting Thomas, right? He's got a bad rap, a bad label on him. But all Thomas was seeking is a greater understanding. Yes. Now there's many times in my life where I heard something, but I didn't have an understanding of it. A depth of understanding that made me move in the right direction, in alignment with the Christ that's inside of me, that is me, that powers me. And so Thomas could be me. I am doubting Thomas because I'm always seeking greater understanding. And I can't lean to my five senses, which I'm prone to do because why? Sometimes I think I'm going through a Jeffrey Osborne moment where I'm only human. Remember that song, I'm Only Human? And so I get confused sometimes, and I can make that statement. Well, I made that move in error because I'm only human. I'm only human. But that's not right. And so I have to lean on a greater understanding. I can't be double-minded, because when I'm double-minded, practicing spirit, but then acting human, I become double-minded. And in this, we start to have a revelation of how do we reframe some of the common things that we say. That's just how I am. How do we reframe that? That's just how I am. That was my role, but I'm reclaiming my identity today. They won't let me. God gave me the green light. I'm not waiting for anything around me, circumstances to change. I have a green light. It runs in my family. Well, it ran in my family, but then it ran into me. And when it ran into me, I was ready, willing, and able to break that cycle. So many times where we practice superstitions. We won't walk under a ladder, but we'll walk under a lie for 20 years. To the point where it seems like it's the gospel, it's the truth. But see, today, the question becomes, are you willing to think for a change? My mother used to ask me that. Would you just think for a change? But in my context, think for a change means I want to turn around this experience that I'm having. With that, let's go back to John 5, where Jesus approached a man sitting by the pool for 38 years. Remember that story? You've heard it multiple times. He's been there 38 years. Jesus comes along and he asks the question, what? Do you want to be made whole? And the man began to tell horror stories about why he'd been there for 38 years. Nobody will help me. I'm from a broken family. I came from poverty. The circulation in my legs are not working right. Jesus said, hold on. I didn't come here to hear your history. I came here for your healing. Now, there's a difference between answering the question, do you want to be made whole with your history, and realizing I'm here to heal. How many people here want to be healed, or you want to tell your history? How many people here want to be healed as opposed to just telling your history? There's so many times where we want to use the alibi, the excuse, the history of how we got to this point. But the question is, do you want to be healed? Do you want to be made whole? Do you want to move forward? That's what it is all about. I want to know that I can be made whole. And that's what this is all about. It's amazing how this weekend, I'm outside and I'm listening. And my neighbors are saying we had this bucket of fireworks. And one of the fireworks fizzled out when we lit it. You ever experienced that where you light a firecracker and it didn't just fizzle out? All the other ones, they pop, they blow up, they look beautiful. They said we had this one firecracker. It was a dud, right? it fizzled out. But some of us are like that. We're packed with everything that we need to be lit and to rise up and to just say boom into this beautiful experience, this expression of divine in us. But some of us have our wicks soaked by past pain, silenced by shame, paralyzed by patterns that no longer serve us. But God says on this morning, Spirit within you is drying you out. You're restored. This time when I light you, you'll understand that there is dunamis power in you. That's a Greek word. A Greek word where we get dynasty from. A Greek word where we get dynamite from. A Greek word that lets us know that we are powerful and everything is inside of us. All of us are firecrackers, waiting to be lit. Lit to the point to where we catch on fire and we live at a higher level. Acts 1:8 says something. But you receive what? Dunamis, power. When the Holy Spirit comes upon you. What does that mean? Power. You receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you. This is when I let go of my independence and enter into a mindset of interdependence on the Spirit that lives within me. That is powerful. And it sets me in the scenario where once I'm lit by purpose, I can travel high and then explode. We're reclaiming our DNA, divine nature activated. Divine. You're not defective. You're divine by design. Say it. I'm divine by design. And it's your nature to be divine. There is this indwelling presence of the Christ within you. And so when Brett and Wilma talk about, have you ever prayed? They're asking you, have you ever went in the room and just shut out everything? And said, it's just me. It's me, oh Lord. Standing in the need of prayer. But I'm not just standing in the need of prayer. I'm standing in the need for me to prophesize who I am, who I want to be, and what I want to see in my life. DNA activated. Can we say action? It's not enough to know the word. We have to live the word. The word, the will, the way of the Christ that lives within us. Spirit is not impotent. Spirit is powerful. It's alive and it's ready. Emma Curtis Hopkins says, there is good for me, and I am aligned to receive it right here, right now. Let's read this together. There is good for me, and I am aligned to receive it right here, right now. There is good for me. There's good for me. Look at yourself and then point to yourself and say, there's good for me. This is not an outside job about anybody else. They're blessed and they're highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. But I have to go inside. It's the inner that matters. It's the inner experience that matters today. And Eric Butterworth said something that sticks with me. It's in my car. My good is not outside of me, it is within me, waiting for release. If you understand this, if you come to understand this morning, my good is not outside of me, meaning I don't have to be interdependent on anyone else. No matter what you do, I'm still powerful. There is good within me, and it's supposed to manifest outside of me. My good is not outside of me, it is within me, waiting for release. Who releases the good within you? Some of y'all don't believe it. Who releases the good within you? Let's get married this morning. When I say who releases the good in you, you say, I do. I don't know if I give you a marriage license with that kind of temperament. Let's try it one more time. Who releases the good in you? I do. I have the power, dominion, and authority to release the good that it is inside of me, that is me. You see, whatever you agree with, you activate. Whatever you agree with, you activate. And whatever you agree with and you activate, you take action towards it. It's a AAA experience. So this morning I'm challenging you to come into agreement. And that agreement only comes when you go inside, the inner. And when you go inside, you discover the magic that everything you need is within you. Repeat after me. I'm not the trauma. I'm the transformation. I'm not the lie. I am the light. I'm not my past. I'm God's purpose. I'm not double-minded. I'm divinely aligned. Grace covers me, and I activate. Maybe I'll stand. You'll hear a common theme as we move through the rest of the year. We're going to ask you to go inside. Go inside and close the door and redefine yourself based on who you really are. You're a powerful child of God. And I say a child of God because you need to stay in that childlike state. Because in that mindset of independence that we were seeking early on, and we said I want to be grown. But the question becomes, yeah, I'm grown, but have I grown up? And if you're like me, and you flip back the pages of your life, your history, you'll realize that at certain points of my life, I was grown, but I had some growing up to do. And I'm almost 62, but I still feel like I'm grown, but I got some growing to do. And I don't know if you're like me. Maybe your book is already written and you've achieved perfection. And if you have, I encourage you to put it out on Amazon. and become a multi-millionaire. Say it with me. I'm grown, but I have some growing up to do. So, look at somebody and say, so. Just tell them, so what you grown? So what you grown? You still have some growing up to do. So why not grow together? Let's do an affirmation. You know I love affirmations. Why do I love affirmations? Because affirmations affirm who we really are and what we believe. And so somebody asked me, how many affirmations do you have? A lot. A lot. Because I'm always trying to grow up. And in that space of growing up, I have to affirm and reaffirm who I am. Sometimes I get out there in the world and I get so caught up in my independence. And I forget it's the interdependent that matters. Reverend Wilma and I were talking about intradependence. And that's the next level. Because there is this thing called independence, interdependence, and intradependence. But interdependence is coming inside and knowing that I need to be in line with the Christ Spirit that lives within me. And when we move to that next level thinking next week, we'll see the interdependence is a horizontal nature where everything aligns. My mind, my body, my spirit. And the last element, my behaviors. Action speaks louder than words. My mind, my body, my spirit, but so many times we stop right there. So I'm in alignment with my mind, my body, my spirit. But what about your actions? So I hope you're here next week. Wilma and I take you to the next level of this conversation. Because what we're doing is we're grown. But we're growing up. Repeat after me. I declare my independence from fear, from failure, and false identity. But I claim my inner dependence on spirit, on truth, and on divine alignment. I walk in truth. I live in dunamis power. I think for a change. I believe what God says about me. No more double mind. I am divinely aligned. And my divine nature is activated. Renaissance, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Thanks for having me this morning. And God bless each and every one of you.